Whoops, the last video ran out on me. We'll see how much memory is on. I'm actually using Phil's phone because mine is older than dirt and doesn't have much in the way of memory or space or what have you. So we'll see how this goes. So it is a bit of an involved process, but believe me, once this is all done, your patience, your attempts will be rewarded. if I may quote AB.
Just had this sitting on the counter, so I want to rinse it off and not introduce anything that might have been on the counter. Probably wasn't anything, but I like to be sure. And now I need to get the yeast. Ooh, I'm going to let that go. This is pretty full. I think it'll overgo if I add any more.
Yeah, you want enough headspace. That's the other thing, folks. If you do ever start brewing, make sure when you go to fill your jars, and also if you do the canning thing, those who are canners, they know this. You want to make sure you have enough, at least an inch of headspace at the top, or else your stuff is going to go kaboom, and then you'll have a big mess on your hands.
So now I'm going to add the yeast nutrient.
What is yeast nutrient?
It is stuff that helps feed the yeast so it grows better.
Yum, yum, yum.
It's diammonium phosphate, to be precise. And I'm using a 1/4 teaspoon measure because that's what I use to measure the pectic enzyme. And that's so I have it out and in use. And I'm putting in a teaspoon of it, of the yeast nutrient. Yeah, that.
So, what are these things on the top of the... What's this funny looking thing there?
The airlock, it's called an airlock, and it's used to allow the carbon dioxide to escape as the yeast ferments. And next is to activate the yeast, which I need to get out what yeast I'm using.
And what kind of yeast are we using today, Phil?
I'm using Lalvin 71B.
Normally you could get these lovely accoutrements, ingredients, whatever, at your local neighborhood happy brewing store. Ours recently closed, independent of what is currently happening in the world. And I was very sad, and I cried for like a good hour because they were really nice people. But you can also find these wonderful items on your local neighborhood Amazon site. Right now what Attila is doing is measuring the temperature of the water. Because if it's too hot, and my fellow bread makers will know that, it's going to, kill the yeast. We don't want to do that here. So we want it at, what temperature are we wanting, Attila?
95 to 98 for this particular yeast.
It's almost regular human.
Right about human body temperature.
Actually, let me go.
And the nice thing about the thermometer I'm using is that it makes a nice stir to stir the yeast into the...
Multitasker.
And to get it properly into the water.
Yes, everything here has been cleaned ahead of time. We just figured filming that would be boring, because you folks are probably sick and tired of doubling your efforts and washing your hands. Actually, if you're doing kitchen stuff, you should be. Whenever you're doing any kind of kitchen stuff, cooking, baking, you should be like a maniac and just be like, I don't know, Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. For me, it's Niles Crane from Frasier, my older fellow Gen Xers would probably remember that show. You know, he couldn't sit down without wiping down the seed, and he couldn't pick anything up without using his hanky to do so. Yeah, that's what I've been like. Niles Crane. Yep. So it's all nice. Well, you can't really tell here. Let me get in, because I'm not that good at filming. So what we have here is a nice bubbliness. I guess it's not unlike when we proof our yeast when we're doing bread and sticky buns and anything that requires yeast.
Yep, and now I give it 5 minutes or somewhere thereabouts, and before adding it, pause.
Pausing. BRB.